At 2:30 a.m. on the 16th of April, 2025, F/A-18 Super Hornet, jets from Carrier Air Wing 7 roared off the deck of a U.S. aircraft carrier. Their mission was clear: deliver 16,000 pounds of precision-guided munitions to a Houthi underground facility nestled beneath hills on the outskirts of Sana'a, Yemen. Destroying this site was deemed a pivotal move to stabilize the region. U.S. intelligence pinpointed it as the nerve center for Houthi attacks, with satellite thermal imaging revealing unusual heat signatures 30 feet underground. As the F-18S closed in, the Houthi stronghold, thought to be impenetrable, was about to receive a surprise package traveling at twice the speed of sound. 15 minutes earlier, at 2:15 a.m., two EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft lifted off for a specialized task. Skimming along Yemen's coastline, they carved an invisible corridor through Houthi air defenses using cutting-edge next-generation jammer systems. Within seconds of activation, Houthi radars displayed nothing but white noise, replacing the clear images they once showed. Radar stations around Sana'a descended into chaos as screens lit up with dozens of false targets generated by the jamming systems. Houthi radar operators scrambled to distinguish real from fake, while some frantically switched frequencies. One operator, in a desperate move, cranked his search radar to maximum power, unwittingly falling into the Growler's trap. Mounted under each Growler's wings was the AN/ALQ-249. Next-generation jammer, a device that rendered Houthi radars useless, turning them into scrap metal. Operating across 2 to 18 gigahertz, it matched 93% of Houthi air defense radars, emitting an effective radiated power of 8 megawatts, overwhelming enemy systems with indistinguishable signals. Compared to its predecessor, this jammer was 10 times more powerful, capable of disrupting from 410 miles away, far beyond Houthi anti-air range. Within minutes, the Growlers cleared a 40-mile-wide safe corridor, allowing strike aircraft to operate nearly invisible to enemy radar. Meanwhile, the Super Hornet formation approached from the southeast, crossing the Gulf of Aden before turning north towards Sana'a. At 2:37 a.m., as they passed Yemen's coast, pilots climbed to 35,000 feet, beyond the reach of surviving Houthi air defenses. The target appeared sharply on their screens via infrared radar imagery, confirming the underground structures. Closing in, the lead pilot designated 4 aim points on the command center's roof. In an instant, the F-18's combat systems calculated optimal impact angles for maximum destruction while keeping the jets at a safe distance. With 4 GBU-31J bombs per aircraft, the F-18S carried enough firepower to obliterate the entire complex. At precisely 2:42 a.m., the lead pilot issued the command, "All weapons release." Time on target, 30 seconds. The GBU-31J dam bombs, an upgraded version of America's premier precision-guided munition, were dropped from high altitude. Each 2,000-pound bomb, fitted with a BLU-109B penetrator warhead and GPS guidance, boasted accuracy within 16 feet at any release altitude. Tailored for the mission, technicians set the bomb's fuses for a 15-millisecond delay, allowing the 1-inch thick steel casing to punch through 20 feet of reinforced concrete before detonating the 550-pound warhead. The first bomb struck the command center's entrance dead on. A split second later, the ground shuddered as the JDAM burrowed through 20 feet of earth and concrete, exploding with over 5,000 psi of pressure, ensuring no one within 100 feet survived. To maximize impact, the strike employed a sequential attack, with bombs hitting the same point 3 seconds apart, drilling deeper into the complex. 7 additional JDAMs struck targets like entrances, ventilation shafts, communication hubs, and weapons caches. 8 consecutive blasts engulfed the hill, triggering a massive secondary explosion as the ammo depot ignited. As the Super Hornets turned and withdrew, they left behind a flattened 200-foot-long G-swath of destruction. Real-time damage assessment showed the command center completely collapsed, with tunnels buried under thousands of tons of debris. This data was relayed to the pilots via an E-2D Hawkeye, serving as the eye in the sky from 150 miles offshore. Its AN/APY-9 radar, operating at 400 to 450 MHz, cut through Houthi electronic countermeasures, covering 9.6 million miles of airspace, enough to monitor all of western Yemen. Under optimal weather conditions, this radar synchronized 16 JDAMs to hit within 0.8 seconds, ensuring maximum effect. Its synthetic aperture radar pierced dust clouds with 12-inch resolution, confirming the destruction of 4 primary targets, eliminating the need for follow-up strikes. At around 3:15 a.m., an unexpected threat emerged when the USS Carney, a guided missile destroyer, detected multiple fast-moving objects launched from near Al-Hudaydah on Yemen's west coast. 4 Iran-supplied missiles were headed straight for the carrier group. The destroyer's Aegis combat system instantly calculated intercept options. The captain ordered, "Neutralize all threats." 4 SM-2 missiles roared from vertical launch tubes, streaking toward their targets. The Aegis Command and Decision System, a supercomputer processing over 4 million lines of code in 1.8 seconds, generated firing solutions. Compared to pre-Aegis days, this was 15 times faster than human operators. The system simultaneously tracked 127 other targets and computed backup firing plans, equivalent to 127 top mathematicians working in unison. The RIM-66 SM-2 missiles, the Navy's primary air defense weapon, hit Mach 3.5 in 8 seconds, or 2,600 miles per hour. In their final moments, active radar seekers locked onto targets with 98% reliability, even against objects with a radar cross-section as small as 0.1 square meters. On approach, the 140-pound warhead unleashed metal fragments at 8,000 feet per second, obliterating all 4 Houthi missiles before they could threaten the carrier group. In retaliation, at 3:30 a.m., the U.S. launched a rapid strike with 4 F-35C Lightning II stealth fighters. With a radar cross-section of just 0.001 square meters taken to a Marble The F-35S were virtually invisible to Houthi radars. Their AN/APG-81 radar operated in low probability of detection mode, emitting just 2% of full power to minimize exposure risks. The F-35's nose-mounted electro-optical targeting system detected the heat signature of Houthi launchers from 73 miles away, despite camouflage. Paired with helmet-mounted displays providing 360-degree sensor data, pilots had complete situational awareness with no blind spots. Each F-35 carried GBU-53B Stormbreaker glide bombs with a 46-mile release range, enabling strikes beyond enemy air defenses. The Stormbreaker's tri-mode seeker, combining millimeter-wave radar, infrared, and laser guidance, ensured hits in all weather conditions. Each 105-pound warhead created a 26-foot lethal radius, sufficient to destroy launchers without excessive collateral damage. During the strike, the bombs received mid-flight target updates as one launcher moved. By 4 a.m., both strike waves returned safely with no losses. Post-strike analysis confirmed the Houthi command center was fully neutralized, with approximately 27 personnel killed. The follow-up strike destroyed 4 of 6 mobile launchers, severely degrading Houthi maritime threat capabilities. Over the next 72 hours, no commercial ships reported attacks, marking the longest peaceful period on this shipping route since the conflict began. In early May 2025, a significant military development unfolded when President Donald Trump announced a halt to large-scale airstrikes against Houthi forces in Yemen, following a campaign that killed over 200 Houthi fighters and destroyed key strategic sites. The decision came after indirect talks with the Houthis via Oman and Qatar, with the group pledging not to disrupt Red Sea maritime freedom. Trump declared the Houthis had lost the will to fight, calling it a U.S. diplomatic victory. However, Houthi leaders, including Mahdi al-Mashat, vowed to continue attacks on Israeli targets in support of Gaza, warning of retaliation if the U.S. shifted its stance. While Qatar and Kuwait welcomed the deal, Israel, excluded from consultations, conducted its own Houthi strikes soon after. Analysts view Trump's move as a tactical step to cut military costs and focus on broader geopolitical talks, but the agreement's long-term stability remains uncertain.